off to the Enchanted Island we go.
This is the Enchanted Island. It is the kingdom and the cradle of the Pagaya. The fairy queen Bladiana is here too.
You don't say.
But something is not right with the island. It never used to look gloomy like this.
Let's investigate.
The atmosphere is somewhat different than before. It feels dreary somehow. Watch out! Why would the fairies attack us?
You're not gonna help me, Don Chico? Okay.
But something is not right with the island. I can't harm them, but this is so strange.
Please select a valid target.
But something is not right.
Okay, I guess they have no loot.
Such a rough welcome. This can't be right. Something must be wrong here. Ah, we are here. I'll go in first and announce our arrival. This is the skirt of life, deep inside the Enchanted Island. Queen Bladiana rules the fairies here. Now go and pay your respects to the queen.
Yes, sir.
It's been a long time since the last human guest visited our enchanted island. But you shouldn't have come. Leave this island with Chico before it's too late.
My queen?
I feel an unknown power. It's consuming me. Hurry! Purify the contract tablet.
My queen?
If you want to get your friend back, then find the successor, Iselia, and bring her here. Otherwise, this man Chico will be imprisoned for eternity.
Okay. I'll do that.
The forest has grown dark. The queen has lost her mind. But you came as the queen prophesied. The darkness will be gone soon. Destiny shall deliver us.
What prophecy?
It was told that a stranger would bring the light back. I don't want to leave our destiny to some stranger, but I cannot deny the prophecy either.
Then I...
You must be the stranger the queen talked about. I will prepare the way for you, and I will show you it when you are ready.
Alright.
The queen once told us that the ancient god is returning. We must find the tablet and purify it before he can gain complete control over us.
Okay, let's do it.
brought all of the fragments of the tablet. Oh, I'm truly grateful. I'm so glad to have you here. Now the tablet is restored. There's only one thing left to do.
Okay, and what's the matter?
You need to eliminate the descendants of the ancient god. They are the main culprits behind this chaos. And then purify this tablet in the Sanctum of Life. Then the forest and the queen will be restored.
Okay. Sounds simple enough.
You can't use that. Requirements are not valid.
I was beside myself with madness. I'm sorry. And thank you for saving us.
I feel pain all over my body. If I had to do this again, I'd prefer to be in the most comfortable position possible.
You're welcome, Don Chico.
You reached out your hand to me when I was drowning in bottomless chaos. Thanks to you, I could save the island.
I just did what I had to do.
I did something unforgivable to Chico and to you. I was already poisoned by chaos when you first came to me. I had no time to explain it.
I'd like to know something.
Yes, you said you have a question. I will help if there is something you need from me.
Who are the Red Masks?
Prophecy does not always provide a clear answer. I will do my best, however, to give you what you seek. The red masks. I see another mask behind them.
Is someone behind the Red Masks?
They merely prepared the way. And now the oldest nightmare will rush in. Horror and despair will pierce this world with a black spear. You are the flame of this era. A die thrown by Providence. An unturned card. You are the one who will decide the future of it all.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You don't have to understand now. Of course you don't understand. Go to an old city and meet an even older baron. He waits for you in Tourney.
If you say so. Thank you.
I'm more confused after hearing the Queen. Prophecy is never given in a straightforward way. However, I now know where we can find the Red Masks.
And where are they?
I'm sure that Tourney, the neighboring city, is the place the Queen talked about. I still haven't figured out other details, but I'm sure something is happening there.
And what should we do for now?
It is always better to confront strange happenings in my experience. Then let's meet at the Western Lookout on the way to Turney. I have something more to discuss with the Queen, so you go ahead first.
Alright, Don Chico. Alright.
And you should have a talk with the Queen too, just in case. She might be able to give you some aid with her magic. She gave me the teleportation stone I used to bring you here.
Alright, interesting.
There you are. Thank you for coming all this way. But it appears there is trouble in Turney. I heard that the Turney's dead are coming back to life.
Dead people are coming back to life?
It sounds absurd, but you and I have experienced this before. In any case, the Federation troops garrisoned here have left for the city itself. And fortuitously, Marco is here as well.
Ah, Marco?
He was chasing the trail of the Red Masks, and it led here. So I want you to see Marco and hear about the situation in detail. As for me, I'll follow the Federation troops to Turney.
Alright, sounds good.
It's good to see a familiar face. So, you've been to the Enchanted Island. I heard that the Fairy Queen told you to find Count Rosso of Turney. Indeed. That sinister Count probably knows a thing or two about the Red Masks.
Did you find out anything new?
I haven't had much luck so far. But one thing is strange. Even after all hell has broken loose in Turney, there aren't any refugees. There should have been queues of people crossing this bridge to head west. But there's not a soul here.
What do you think that is?
I have my suspicions, but before we start jumping to conclusions, we should get a message to Chico. Chico should be at the makeshift shelter, a little further to the east of here. I'll stay and gather more information. Go find Chico and tell him what's happening here.
Yeah. We just don't get enough of Chico, do we? I'll do it. See you, Marco.
You're here at last. You saw what I saw too, right? I can't believe that Turney, a city famed for its beauty, has been reduced to this.
What could have happened here?
We'll have to find out how, starting by questioning people. An old friend of mine lives in Turney, and I'm worried for his safety. Could you look for him?
Yeah, sure. Where should I start?
His name is Jimenez. The last I saw, he'd opened a tavern in the Turney outskirts. Though, I doubt he's kept the tavern open during all of this.
Alright. I'll start there. Six suspicious men dropped by the tavern. They ordered 4 glasses of beer, 2 glasses of grain wine. He seemed to be hiding himself, a wanted man maybe. Or he is a retired soldier who has just left the battlefield. There was also an official from Spezia who stayed at my tavern for quite a while. The official's name was, what did he say? It's still unusual for me to remember a person's name. Anyway, they ordered rum and left the charge. Around midnight, the official met with said 6 men behind the tavern. The baggage carried by one of the 6 men contained a pointed hat. Dayton tribe? Well, it wouldn't be unusual that those guys carry such an odd hat with them. It looked like the official told something to them, and the men kept listening to him. This didn't seem like the first time they met, anyway. There was no problem with the tavern, and both of them paid well. $18.99. 12:30. So 12:30 p.m. I would assume, or maybe a.m. And then it says 12:00 afterwards. So yeah. Soldiers dropped by the tavern. They asked if Lewis used to drink a lot. I answered that Lewis often dropped by the tavern, but he wouldn't enjoy drinking. They went back to talking among themselves, and I overheard one of them mention Lewis again. They said that Lewis dug up his late wife's corpse from her tomb, and he boasted that he could revive his dead wife. I'm writing again, later at night. After the tavern was closed, Lewis dropped by. Lewis said his wife was resurrected. Resurrected? Nobody but insane fanatics would believe such a thing. I took a bottle of rum and put it into Lewis's hands. I told him that soldiers asked me about his digging up the tomb. I advised him to stop, even though I didn't know what he was doing. Lewis still sought to tell me about the resurrection, but I closed the door. Lewis missed his late wife, and often felt so lonely. But I didn't want to listen to someone's drunken grumbles after my tavern had closed for the night. A guest from south of Turney told me the news. The guest told me about a rumor that a woman ate her husband. And he told me that the husband was named Lewis. What on earth happened to Lewis? Lewis dropped by my tavern. I closed my tavern early that day. Lewis had no arms and was bleeding from his wounds. And he said his revived wife ate his arms. I've never seen that even in battlefields. How could one's teeth gnaw and cut off others' arms? I couldn't believe what Lewis said to me. I gave Lewis an open room and wept in a corner. I don't really know what happened. I killed Lewis and can't feel calmed down yet. Lewis ran at me and bit my neck. He used to be a weakling, but this time he was too strong for me to fight back. I picked a sword and cut off his head. Lewis's head is still under the stairs. I don't know what is going on, but I'd have to bury the corpse of Lewis before someone could know this affair. Maybe I can now understand what had happened. Whatever happened to Lewis happened to me as well. I don't feel satisfied even after eating something. I feel constantly hungry. I got fever but don't feel dizzy. However, my memory gets dimmer. Some people knocked on the door of my tavern. They said they were running away, and that turning was messed up. Messed up? Well, I wasn't really concerned with that. I would rather eat the people who reported the news to me. Eat. Is that the right word for it? I'm not sure if it is. I'd like to eat them up. They're still haunting me. August 22nd, 23rd, I don't remember. The date is written following the time of the preceding writing. But I don't know what time it is now. Lewis's corpse, I buried it. Can't find it. Can't see anyone living outside. It was reported that some people knocked on the door that day, the 21st, but who were they? I can't remember if I let them go or ate them. Why did I nail up the door of my tavern? There's nothing in the tavern. I'm hungry. I'd better get out.
right. Did you see Jimenez? How has he been keeping?
Jimenez was kinda dead.
Jimenez is dead. I can hardly believe it. He has always seemed wedded to life. Just what the hell is happening in Turney?
I found this diary.
Jimenez had a habit of keeping records of everything. Perhaps this will give us a clue to how things...
Okay, sorry about that game crash, guys. Let's try this again.
Jimenez is dead. I can hardly believe it. He has always seemed wedded to life. Just what the hell is happening in Turney?
I found this diary.
Jimenez had a habit of keeping records of everything. Perhaps this will give us a clue to how things have turned out this way.
I hope so.
I read Jimenez's diary. It reads that one day, darkness descended on Turney and its surroundings, and the dead rose from their graves and started attacking people.
What in the world?
What's certain is that this is an unprecedented event, and it has to be stopped at all costs. Just what is the Federation Army doing now?
Yeah, why isn't the army doing something?
They've received an order to seal off Turney. I've sent some men to the capital to assess the situation, but I'm afraid that they'll get back to me too late. I want you to go to the army camp and see what they are up to.
Copy that.
Oh my goodness. I never expected to see you here. It's almost like there's something connecting you and me. And the corpses too, of course. Doesn't this all seem eerily familiar?
What are you doing here?
I came running as soon as I heard about the outbreak in Turney. Corpses rising from their graves. I mean, it doesn't usually happen that often, does it? I'm sure we'll find a contraption here like the one we destroyed before.
So we have another companion on our hands.
I can't think of any other cause. I think the cause here must be the same as the one behind the ghosts in Campania. But seeing the extent of this, I'd say there's more than one contraption.
Then what should we do?
First, we must find a Surma contraption in order to prove my hypothesis. I've analyzed the movement routes of the revived corpses so far and identified the nearest likely source of this outbreak.
Great. Let's look for something.
We can stop the undead outbreak in Turney. No, we must stop it.
I found a Surma contraption.
There really was a Surma contraption. That means that somebody started this outbreak on purpose. Campania was only a test. The real target was here.
It's got to be the Red Mask.
No matter who they are or what they're after, someone should stop them from committing such atrocities ever again. Otherwise, we won't be able to save Turney and everyone who lives there.
I'll look for a way.
A contraption built by the Red Masks caused the incident in Turney? Hell, I didn't suspect that they were even involved in this. Are they truly aiming to break up the Federation itself?
What should we do?
At least we now know how we can stop the dead from rising. But even if we destroy that contraption you spoke of, someone else will build it again. The Federation Army has to take action to ensure constant monitoring.
Will the army act?
First, we'll inform the capital of your discovery. That will force them to make a decision. Not knowing what caused this incident may have kept them cautious up to now. But now we know that the Red Masks were behind this.
Alright.
haven't heard anything back from Spezia yet. And no matter what I say to them, the Federation troops won't take any action. All the while, the number of walking corpses is increasing by the day.
Will Turney be alright?
It should be all right for the time being. Mikel Rosso, he is a special man. No matter how wild the corpses get, Rosso will protect Turney from them. It might even be that House Rosso will solve this crisis on their own.
I hope that happens.
But if that happens, not only the Amistad Federation, but also the Union Alliance will be shaken to the core. Turney is going through a horrendous catastrophe, yet the Federation is watching like an idle bystander. If this is how things are going to be, then how can trust or solidarity among our people be maintained?
Why is the Federation acting like that?
I don't know. It is prudent to be wary of an unknown enemy, but this is too much. It's almost as if they don't care whether Turney falls or not. If they won't act even here, then what's the point of the Federation army and the Federation itself?
Is there a way?
I intend to go to the camp now and try to convince the commander. If I have to, I'll use House Sforza's name to spur them into action. In the meantime, I want you to go to Turney and meet with Count Rosso.
What should I tell him when I meet him?
Tell them that I, Chico and House Sforza, have come forward to aid Turney. You must let him know that the seeming inaction during this crisis isn't the will of the whole Federation. Turney is very dangerous now, but I have faith that you will make it.
I think I will. I will be in touch.
I don't believe I have seen you before. I'm amazed that an outsider would willingly walk into Terni after what happened here. In any case, welcome. I'm Mikel Rosso, the governor of Terni.
Hello, Mikhail. Master Chico sent me.
So this disaster is the work of the Red Masks. It displeases me that their ilk are using red, the color of our house. Anyhow, if Chico has decided to aid Terni, then I can rest easy and wait for him.
Do you know Master Chico?
Once, we knew each other pretty well. You could call us friends, even. After all, we fought side by side during the War of the Falling Leaves. If you want the details, you should hear them from him.
What do you mean?
Someone has broken into the mansion. Intruders at Rosso's mansion? How dare they? Surely corpses wouldn't be interested in burglary. Have the ones behind this disaster shown themselves finally?
What are the guards doing?
The corpses are attacking heavily today, and even the mansion's guards have been sent to the defense line. Perhaps it was all part of their plan. Let me ask you for a favor. While I hold this place, go and check that room over there.
You gonna be alright? By yourself?
Will I be all right alone? Ha! I was once called a hero, but I guess my time is past. You should be careful yourself. I won't be able to face Chico if something happens to you.
Okay, I'll check out that room, I suppose. Is that a setup?
Die, monster! Calling me a monster? Then what are you? Are you trying to say that you're human?
This is the
Okay.
human protected zone.
I'm sorry that you've witnessed something you didn't have to see. You dispatched our enemies much sooner than I anticipated. I can see why Chico holds you in high regard.
Just now, what was that?
House Rosso are vampires, the nobles of the night. But we don't particularly harm people. It's actually quite the opposite. Chico knows what I am, and I hope you keep this secret to yourself as well.
Vampires don't harm people?
Calling it a toll for governing the city would be an awkward way of putting it. But we only take the blood of criminals, the ones sentenced to death at that. We never harm innocent citizens. They are my subjects whom I should protect.
Your subjects?
Yes, I'm a vampire, without a doubt. But I'm also the ruler of Terni. I'm sure you're thinking that I cannot be both. We are living in an age where humans coexist in peace with beastmen and otherworldly races alike.
Yes, I'll keep it to myself.
So, it wasn't the Red Masks, but a congregation of fanatics called the Third Eye that was behind this? Well, the rank and file might be ignorant of it, but the higher-ups would be of the same ilk. I wonder why they've come after Terni and House Rosso.
What are you gonna do about them?
I don't intend to do anything, although they'll pay their price if they dare to attack Rosso's mansion again. But as we can't leave this mansion, I'll let them be for the time being.
Is it because of the corpses?
Walking corpses may be horrible to look at, but they are no threat. As long as the soldiers of our house and the clan are here, this mansion will be safe. If we wanted, we could escort all the citizens safely out of Terni.
Why don't you do it?
Because we mustn't. A terrifying demon sleeps in this mansion's basement. Archmage Sulla, who was known as the Demon Governor during the Lumen Era. The reason I built this mansion was to seal him in and keep an eye on him.
You built this mansion?
Yes, I'm Lucius Ruber, the progenitor of House Rosso. The very man who sealed up the Demon Governor Sulla and saved Terni. And I've ruled Terni ever since, changing my name a number of times over the years.
Who's the demon governor Sola?
Sulla was a member of the Wise Ones, an order that almost destroyed the whole world by summoning the Black Tower. He survived the Black Tower and ruled this city through terror and despair during the Dark Age. His obsession with forbidden magic led him to turn himself into an undying corpse.
Undying corpse?
Yes, that's why I couldn't kill him completely, and could only seal him in. An undying corpse. That made me suspect that Sulla had a hand in this disaster. But from what you told me, that appears not to be the case, which is a relief.
And what is the Black Tower?
The Black Tower, Migraturis. There aren't many people left who remember that name. The worst catastrophe ever to befall this world, brought about by the arrogance of human mages. It's not something even I would like to talk about.
I see. That's a lot to take in. Alright.
I can feel an age of darkness and strife approaching us, as happened once before, long ago. At a time like this, it's difficult to foretell what might be ahead. You do what you must do. I'll do what I must, protecting this mansion and my subjects.
Alright. We'll do what we must do.
I can feel an age of darkness and
Oh, Marco's here.
It's been a while. I'm glad you're doing okay. I've seen so many corpses on the way here. The idea of facing Count Rosso made me queasy, so I'm glad to see a familiar face.
You don't like the Count very much, do you?
It's not that I don't like him. I just find him uncomfortable to be around. I may have been known as the Angel of Death once, but the Count, there's something different about him. I'd wager he could kill 100 men with a smile on his face.
Is he that intimidating?
But the citizens of Turney City respect their Count. They adore him. He also fought heroically alongside Everardo in the War of the Falling Leaves. That's just my personal impression. You needn't be concerned about it.
Huh. What are you doing here anyway?
Do you remember the Red Masked Mage from the Lando? I followed his trail, hoping it might lead to my son. Eventually, I was led to a congregation of fanatics that has taken root here in Turney.
The Third Eye, you mean?
You already knew, huh? They might seem like harmless fanatics on the surface, but their leaders are likely minions of the Red Masks. But unlike the thieves in Navarra, there's something not quite right here.
They're the masterminds behind this incident.
You think they turned Turney into this? If they really can bring the dead back to life, I might convert. Maybe it's because they have such power.
Maybe it's because of what?
They have an enormous number of followers, even though the cult only arose recently. It makes no sense if they do have backing from the Red Masks. If they continue attracting members like this, they'll swallow up the entire Federation in no time.
What trickery could they have used?
I'd like to know that myself, but finding my son comes first. I can't just let this go either, so I've come to see Count Rosso. As he's the man who governs Turney, he has both the need and the means to investigate the cult.
The Count said that'll leave him be.
And considering the current situation in Turney, that makes sense to me too. Then we'll have to find out about the Third Eye ourselves. If they're associated with the Red Masks in any way, they're also our enemies.
How are we going to find out?
I can't infiltrate the cult because they already know my face. Can you disguise yourself as one of their followers and find out their secrets? In the meantime, I'll investigate what the Third Eye is up to in Turney.
They know your face? What'd you do?
These fanatics are quite stubborn, I'm telling you. Even to learn this much, I've had to use some pretty rough measures on a number of them. So I guess I'm the cult's public enemy #1 from now.
I see, you said enough. I'll go in alone.
Good. Then I'll leave it to you. They're just ordinary people who've gone a bit mad about their religion. You shouldn't be in any danger. Knock one of them out, change into those weird garments, and infiltrate the cult.
Will do, Marco. See you around.